Hi everyone, it's 2411 you again. Now, as many of you may or may not know, I'm a fan of Game of Thrones. I love the plot, the characters, the setting, as well as the MGTOWs, or men going their own way, so to speak, in the series. Now, with Game of Thrones returning for Season 6 this April, here's a list of characters in the series I believe went their own way, and why I believe they were MGTOW. Now, before I go further, some of the photos and things I'm going to say can be perceived as spoilers for those behind or haven't yet seen the series, so bear with me. Now, the first character I would like to briefly talk about is Tywin Lannister. Little is known about Tywin's past relationships with Cersei, Jaime, and Tyrion's mother, only that Tywin hated his son Tyrion because their mother died shortly after his birth. Tywin was a man going his own way, I believe, because he didn't remarry. However, he did do something that angered Tyrion to the point of his own demise. He slept with his son's lover Shae, a common whore. Now, the next character I want to show is Tywin's son, Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion, I believe, was truly a man going his own way because he left his old life behind. He killed his lover Shae as well as his father and became a fugitive and criminal to the Lannister home. His sister Cersei began a personal manhunt for him. He also never wanted to be married to Sansa Stark for status because he truly loved Shae back when the deal was arranged. And now I want to move on to arguably the most hated character in the series, Joffrey Baratheon. Joffrey was also a man or boy going his own way because he didn't actually like Sansa. He was only to be wed to her out of necessity. In fact, Joffrey, I believe, can never really be controlled, and that's what made him the most dangerous of all. Joffrey may have found Lady Margaery of the House Tyrell beautiful on the surface, but she still had no power over him when it came to ruling with an iron fist. It was so bad that Joffrey could not make Tyrion bow down to him. And now I want to talk about Jon Snow. Jon Snow is a man going his own way. Why? He was always the man women found the most attractive, but he stuck to his laurels and the code of the Night's Watch. After eventually losing his virginity to Ygritte, he also fell in love with her, a wildling girl of all people. It was so bad for him that even the Lady Melisandre was unable to seduce him. In short, Jon Snow was a man going his own way, because after the death of Ygritte, he chose not to love again, but instead to honor her memory. And now I want to talk about Samuel Tarly, easily one of my favorite characters in the series. Samuel Tarly was a man going his own way because he chose Gilly even though he knew that it was dangerous to take a daughter of Craster's from Craster's Keep. Samuel also deeply loved Gilly and put her and her baby's thoughts and interests above his own. In short, Samuel Tarly was white knighting, but he wasn't a mangina either because I truly feel that Gilly wasn't trying to manipulate him. Now moving on to Lord Baelish. Lord Baelish of Harrenhal, or Petyr Baelish, is a man going his own way, because he essentially never got what he wanted from life. Baelish wanted to marry Catelyn Stark, the mother of Sansa, because he always loved her in his earlier years. Little was known or discussed in the series about the rivalry he had with Eddard Stark for her affections, so I don't really know. However, someone who reads the books can maybe enlighten me. Anyway, despite failing to gain her affections, Baelish was to be wed to Lysa Arryn, of the House Arryn, and the Eyrie. But he kissed Sansa like a badass and ended up killing his wife-to-be, Lysa, who had ironically loved him her whole life. Baelish ended Season 5 single. Now I want to talk about Podrick. Podrick was a man going his own way because he was apparently very good with the ladies in such a way that it intrigued both Tyrion and Bronn of the Blackwater. The irony of this, though, is as masculine a quality as that is, he was demasculinized by a woman no less, Brienne of Tarth. I believe the relationship is a very interesting one, and I would love to see how Podrick responds to it in the following seasons. This dramatic irony, I believe, is another element that makes Game of Thrones such a good story. And now for Lord Varys. Lord Varys is a man going his own way, because even at the pleasure house, he surprised a common whore by having no affection for women at all. He doesn't go into grim detail about it, but perhaps he was circumcised from birth, or was just born asexual in general, but the author remains unclear about Varys' sexual biology or orientation. It's fair to say that Varys is merely a protector of the realm and nothing more or less. Lastly, I want to talk about Robb Stark. Robb Stark's love of foreign women got him killed. He may have followed his heart to choosing to marry a woman from Volantis, Talisa Maegor, instead of Walter Frey's daughters, but this was to his own undoing. Moral of the story, don't like foreign women. Lust and desire for unique and different things may sometimes get you killed. I also find it ironic how in the Bible it's the same thing that caused problems for Samson as well as King David. Anyway, that's it for today. Subscribe if you haven't yet, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and see you again tomorrow for the latest. Ciao.